hair's really fluffy. I don't know if that's the humidity or what, but you can see based on the wolves that I moved the couch cushions. So, and the books in here are piling up. So we are here to do In Power of the Bible. I have one chapter left of High Mysticism, and I just committed to doing the Essential Ernest Holmes because I'm in the class, and I've read the book before. I've read the book several times, but since I'm in the class, I'm going to read the book again because, that's what you do, even though I've read the book. And I made a comment about reading it out loud or reading it live, and somebody said, hey, yeah, it helps because I'm dyslexic and ADHD. Same, which is why I'm going to read it out loud. So we're hopefully going to start that process tonight. And at least get the first, all the introductory and the forward and stuff out, and then do chapter 1, so that we will have that available. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for the Hidden Power of the Bible. So let's do the housekeeping. All the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. That gets you one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month and the holidays are hot. So click here now means it. It is also a blind CC, so nobody will see your email. You won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. And I did say one a week, and I meant that because real person doing it doesn't have time for more than that. The only reason you would get another email in the same week is if something unusual happens. I will point out, we do live on the Gulf Coast, and it is hurricane season. So, apparently we have a tropical depression headed right for us again. But if it stays a tropical depression, that's good, because we could use the rain. Our lawns were all healthy and green, and now we've had 2 weeks of, almost, if not over 100-degree weather, and the lawns are all going, ah! So, yeah. So that is that. Now, I will also mention the social media from the standpoint of we do not monetize it. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So we ask you, go like, subscribe, follow, based on which platform you're on, and then engage with the individual post by reacting, commenting, and sharing. It bumps us in the algorithms, and as Jesse said on Sunday, it makes us look more impressive. So if you can do that, you will get our stuff in front of more people is basically the goal here. Because as I said, we don't want to deal with the ads. We don't want you to have to deal with the ads. So this is a free and easy way that you can support us and keep us from going to ads. So, all right. So the Hidden Power of the Bible, I love the original title. The original title was The Bible in Light of Religious Science. So basically what Ernest did, and it's not a big book, picked out his favorites, what he thinks are the most relevant. Notice I said most relevant, not relevant. He would argue that the whole Bible still can be relevant to anybody's life. But what he thinks are the most relevant. And he is spending most of his time concentrating on the teachings of Jesus. So we are in Matthew 11 right now. And today's article is the need for spiritual experience. And it's a fairly long one, so we're just going to do that one. Okay? So, as I said, the need for spiritual experience. We need spiritual experience, a first-hand knowledge of life and reality. There is no medium between God and humanity. Nothing between life and living, between heaven and hell, but an idea. But an idea has no real value until it becomes an experience. In conversation, we assume great knowledge of religion and philosophy, but how much do we really experience? Now, this is a point that Ernest does harp on. Well, I shouldn't use the word harp. He talks about a lot, because he talks a lot of theory. And one of the things that he has been known to have said is, we talk too much about theory. Go out and try it. as we like to say, go road test this stuff. Because we can talk all the theory we want, but until you actually road test it and find out what works for you and how it works for you, we're just, sitting around talking. You gotta practice this stuff. We can know only that which we experience. All great religions have taught truth, but it means nothing to us unless it becomes our truth. And that's one of the things where I run into, people get up Sunday morning, go to church, sit through church, and then they go home. And they put nothing that they heard on Sunday into practice. It's one of the reasons I believe that Jesse frequently will give us homework. Here, try this throughout the week. It is one of the reasons why we talk ad nauseum about spiritual practice. You got to exercise those spiritual muscles. We need spiritual experience. We shall never know peace until we embody it. We shall never know truth until we become truth. And we cannot know God unless we sense God within our own being. Where are you going to go and look for God? Well, the best place is to turn within. To turn within. Meet the God, meet the source of your own being. Oh, I've lost my highlighter lid. Okay. The Spirit is ever giving, but we must take. What life does for us must be done through us. It is useless for a troubled mind to beseech God to bring peace to it. God is peace, and we can approach this wonderful presence only as we turn from all that is opposed to it. Okay? Turn from all that is opposed to it. It is useless to ask God to save sinners from eternal damnation, since the divine mind conceived neither hell nor the devil. Really. Read the Bible. It's not in there. It's not in there. Satan is, but the devil that we know isn't. And if you read Job, Satan is an office. It is not a particular angel. And think about Satan like a lawyer. This angel is arguing against, and God is arguing for. So, All right. If the deity could know these things, they could have a real existence. God knows only peace, and peace is the power at the heart of the eternal mind. Back of all is eternal goodness, loving kindness, and everlasting blessedness. Spiritual experience is deep, calm, and self-assertive. Is that a word you expected to hear with spiritual experience? Maybe not. It is the result of actually realizing that presence which binds all together in one complete whole. This experience comes in the stillness of the soul, when the outer voice is quiet, when the tempest of mortal strife is abated. It is a quickening of the inner person to an eternal reality. And it's one of the reasons why it is so hard to describe, because language can't describe that mystical experience, can't describe that spiritual experience. That's one of the reasons why art exists, because art can depict it a little bit better than words can describe it. And that's why they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Spiritual experience is not an opinion. It is a fact. Spirituality may be defined as the atmosphere of good, the realization of God. It cannot and does not borrow its light from another, no matter how great or noble they may be. It springs from within. It's an inside job. Peace is an inside job. Happiness is an inside job. Joy is an inside job. All of that is an inside job. It's got to come from within to the without. It is one of the reasons why you turn within, meet the source of your own being, and allow that to flow out of you. Okay? Allow it to flow through you. You can sit at the foot of any guru, and it will not rub off on you. You've got to have your own experience. Now, a guru can guide you to the experience, but a guru cannot have the experience for you. All right? And any guru that tells you that they can is not a guru. All right. It springs from within, coming from that never-failing fountain of life, which quenches every thirst, whose source is in eternity, the wellspring of self-existence. It is a revelation of the self to the self, putting one back on the track of their own self-dependence on spirit, their own atonement with reality. So, if you are going to get the most out of religion, then you have got to have a spiritual experience. Or 2, or 3. Or, daily. We talk about spiritual practice. And that is the point of spiritual practice. The point of spiritual practice is to put yourself in the presence of the divine every day and see what happens. And it can be short and it can be long, and you can do like a 15-minute meditation, or you can do an hour meditation, or you can listen to a really amazing 3-minute song and have that spiritual experience. There's no one way to do it. And more importantly, there's no right way to do it. There are definite techniques that you can use. That is the whole point of practical mysticism, which I don't know if they're still teaching that class or not. Because every time when I taught practical mysticism, every week we did a different meditation, a different kind of meditation. Because everybody thinks, meditation is sitting cross-legged on a pillow staring at the wall. No. Me? My best meditations? Walking, park, music. I may not ever hear the music I'm listening to, but I can get a good meditation in. So, that's what's important. So it's to have that spiritual experience, and it is a worthy pursuit. It is a worthy chase to chase that presence, to work to put yourself in that presence every single day. All right. So that is when religion is doing it right. When religion is crowd control, it's not doing it right. When religion is teaching you who you are and about your relationship with the divine, that's religion done right. All right. I think I've exhausted myself now. So I'm going to wrap this up, and I think tomorrow's another one where we're just going to do the one. The cause of human troubles. So we may tack world peace on that. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. And you got this day, a take care of business day, a be aware of the heat day, and please drink plenty of water day. Stay out of the direct sunlight. Between basically 1 and 7 is where I'm hearing the heat advisories are. So, make sure you make time to sit down and rest day, a do something amazing for yourself day, a do something nice for somebody else day, tell somebody you love them day, a look in the mirror and see the divine looking back at you, a practice that at one minute day, a have a spiritual experience day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a good day, and if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, an absolutely beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And, as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. So, explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. Because all the divine knows is good. And that is the good news. All right, my friends. I'm going to move on to the process of my day. So I will simply say Reverend David will be on sometime this afternoon. Like I said, I intend to see if I can get chapter 1 done on the Essential Ernest Holmes tonight, but that is going to depend on when David... I'm hoping by the time I get home from work, David will have already done his evening. We'll see. Take care of yourself. And then I will be back to do the Hidden Power of the Bible in the 9:50. This is part of my spiritual practice. I will see you. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will